morning, students. How are you? How is everybody? Very sorry for this little delay, bache. There was some technical error. So because of which, this delay was there. Technical things are not in your Ritu Ma'am's hand. Good morning, everybody. All those yellow hearts. Am I seeing those yellow hearts? And thank you for waiting for Ritu Ma'am. All the good morning, all of you. Lovely morning to all of you. Okay, and this is the morning from Vedantu, Mumbai. You are all here with me in Mumbai. Oh, yes, all those yellow hearts there happening. Okay, now, yes, Menti quiz. Good morning. Rohan, good morning. Ritu Ma'am's boy. Yes, Ritu Ma'am's boy is also there. Of course, Yash, I had my breakfast. And I'm so humbled. Little delay, but you are all there waiting for Ritu Ma'am. What lovely weekend I had with you all. Menti quiz was superb. And the girls were on top. So next time it's going to be boys, your turn. Right? Bacha, all my bachas, absolutely. Are you, Raman, are you really testing Ritu Ma'am? You are asking Ritu Ma'am, where is the bottle? Where is your bottle? Now tell me. Where is your water bottle? Do you think what I am teaching, what I am preaching, I won't do myself? Otherwise, I won't teach that. Okay. So, Raman, thank you so much, bache. Thank you so much. It's lovely having you here. Kishore is beside you. And this water thing, bache, okay, this water thing was not just for the digestion chapter. It is for all the time in your life. And are you teaching that to your parents and to your grandparents also? Even if dad goes out for 15 minutes, tell him, Dad, your water bottle, give it to him. Chalo, let's see now. Beautiful Monday. Week starting Monday. How can it be beautiful? Of course it is. Don't we remember? Diwali is so close. Have we started doing up our houses? All the festivals, beautiful festivals, every festival, be it Christmas or Eid or Diwali, we are all going to be celebrating it together. Right? Let's see, Diwali day also, Ritu Ma'am will be there and we will all dress up beautifully and start. Okay, so shall we start, bache? Today, you know Ritu Ma'am very well by now. Okay, today, bache, we are starting with the chapter Structural Organization in Animals. Yes, Diwali close. So that means I need more of those golden yellow hearts. Alright, so okay, now let's see. This is the pro subscription, bache, which I had told you to join in, which is so beneficial for you. You know, Ritu Ma'am telling you 5,000 plus hours of teaching, which is amazing, and you will get test assignments and personalized, absolutely personalized teaching. Sometimes like a channel like this, bache, we are not able to give individual attention. So, but definitely that doesn't mean we are not doing justice to this, but this is going to be special for all of you, and continuous reviews which will be sent to you, and your parents will also know, so we better perform well. Okay, 20 plus very renowned top-notch teachers in the country. You know now, Vedantu, bache, it doesn't leave any stone unturned as far as faculty is concerned. You are the most important people for us. So we'll give you the best. We'll try our best to give you the best. Okay, then options. That's why Ritu Ma'am is here. There were so many students asking for Ritu Ma'am English, speak in English, because all the southern states English speaking states. So you know we have options, either English or Hindi, bache, you can pick up from that, and covers all the courses here. Major discounts will be given. This is 2021 NEET batch. My children who are immediately going for NEET examination. Okay, then 2022 the brats who have not yet started taking it very seriously, but start doing that. Okay, 2022 NEET, massive discounts, bache. Finally, if you take in for 12 months, it comes out to be very beneficial for you. And of course, there is pro subscription for those special children who want to try their luck again. And why not? Okay, let's go back here. Now, when you are buying this, bache, use the code RG Pro. Okay, and link is there in the description, RG Pro. Let's start. Enough of talking by Ritu Ma'am. Now you will start talking. Right? What's that? Tell me, single cell. Okay, one single cell. For example, let's take up this. Okay, a single cell. All right, you were actually one single cell, that zygote. Okay, when the fertilization happened in mama's womb, zygote. Okay, from that single cell, how many cells now? In you, how many cells? Trillions of cells are there, right? So when we talk about this, okay, we are talking about, okay, starting with a single cell. Okay, you know, now on an average, in a human adult average body, how many cells are there? 6 into 10 raised to the power 10. This is, I'm talking about trillions. There are trillions of cells now. All right, now these cells. And how did it happen? You know, mitosis. Mitosis is the process by which cell multiply. Okay, now bache, the cells, when they come together, like when the cells, they form a group, okay, that's called as a tissue. Okay, when tissues come together, what do they form? You know this. I'm aware my children know this. Okay, but wait, I'm going to be asking you something. Okay, then when organs, say this is an organ system. Okay, this is the blood vascular system shown here, and all the organ systems in you, digestive system, excretory system, reproductive system, respiratory, every system, all of the system, which I tell you now, the most beautiful machine made by the top-notch engineer. Okay, what is this called as? Organism. It forms the organism. Okay, so this is, what is it called? It is called as the level of organization, how the levels are increasing. But there is one question now. Look at that, how beautiful something can be. Beautiful tissues in you. Okay, now see this picture. What is a tissue? How will you define tissue? How do you define tissue? Tissue is a group of similar cells. Okay, a group of similar cells along with the intercellular substance. Now don't forget that. Most of the students, they just say tissue is a group of cells. No. Between all those cells, among all those cells, there is ground substance present. Look at this tissue on the screen. What is this tissue on the screen? This is fluid connective tissue, your blood. Okay, when I'm talking about tissue, am I just talking about RBC, WBC and platelets, just the cells? Or am I talking about the platelets, RBC, WBC along with the fluid component they are floating in? Plasma, of course. So you are Ritu Ma'am's smart children. You will not say tissue is a group of cells. Wrong. No. Tissue is that group of similar cells. Okay. Along with what? Not to forget this, bache. Along with the intercellular substance. Along with the intercellular substance performing a specific function. Now you see, I've written something, question mark for you. Okay, now tell me, why did I put question mark there? Similar in what way? How similar? What is similar? Should they look like each other? Should they perform similar function? How? When we say, bache, group of similar cells, okay, we have certain criteria. Okay, and what are those criteria? They should be similar in, almost similar in structure. They should be almost, I think a blue thing was problem for you to see. Okay, cells which are similar in structure, almost similar. We are not going to be very strict about this, but structure similar. Then we are very particular about this. Function. They should have very good, all of them same function. And last but not the least, okay, they should have the similar, okay, they should have the similar origin. The similar origin. What does the word origin mean? Suppose there is a group of cells and along with the intercellular substance, okay, they have a same origin. I'm checking your chat now. Okay, wow, somebody is given those greens and yellow hearts. Okay, tell me, what is meant by origin? What is Ritu Ma'am saying if I'm asking you that the tissue should have, the cells of that tissue should have the similar origin? Let me see. Harikasari, how can I forget your name? I'm getting your answer as the first answer. Okay, superb teaching, ready, perfect, bache, thank you so much. Okay, light is low. Okay, Rama, I will not check position. I'm here only. Okay, acha, shift position means cities. Okay, no, I'm in Mumbai only. Germless, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, now let's see. I was shifting position to make sure that when we deliver it finally to you, bache, okay, this is NEET and your career. So we are at our best. So that was a kind of a learning and training process because of which I was shifting places. But Rama, next time I'm going to be shifting, I'm going to be coming to you only, right? Okay, we'll study there only with you. Okay, now let's see. Got it. Origin, either from ectoderm, origin means from which germ layer has it originated. Ectoderm, mesoderm or endoderm. Okay, now let's move ahead. So, can my children now define something as simple as that? Define tissue. Group of similar cells, similar structure, function and origin along with the intercellular substance is called as a tissue. And we know there are 4 different types of tissues. Bache, epithelial tissue, along with me, learn the same sequence. Learn the same sequence. Epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue or muscular tissue. NCERT takes it as muscle tissue. Bache. Okay, and then last is the neural tissue. You can also call it nervous tissue. So all of us remember in the sequence. First, epithelial. Second, connective. Third, boys, okay, muscular. And fourth is the neural tissue. Got that right, bache? Next, let's move ahead. This is something here only you learn with me. What is this, bache? The origin. Right now. And you know, this origin, bache, is going to help me in teaching you so many chapters. In so many chapters. For example, epithelial tissue. Different types, epithelial tissue, wide variety of epithelial tissue, different types of epithelial tissue originating from either ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Do you know something, bache? When were these ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm formed? When were these germ layers formed? When mama was just 15 days pregnant. Okay, that is the time. There was an embryonic stage called as gastrulation. It's called as gastrulation. It was then, during gastrulation, 15 days of pregnancy, these 3 layers are formed. Okay, that's called as, it's during. Now these are extra things which you will remember. Okay, okay, and then from these gastrulation, 3 germ layers, and then from those germ layers originated so many different organs. Okay, now remembering epithelial tissue, any of the germ layer, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Then comes the connective tissue and muscular tissue. Both the middle one, we will remember it like that. Both the middle one, okay, दोनों को बच्चे, both of them are from the middle layer, mesoderm. So connective tissue and muscular tissue, both from the mesoderm. Last, not to forget, so important, your nervous tissue, neural tissue, ectodermal in origin. Got that right? The screen is in front of you. Okay, the screen is in front of. One quick question. one quick question. You just have to write it there. Okay, I'm going to, before your answer for this question, you just write one. Okay, write one and answer. Okay, one and answer. What is the origin of blood? What is the origin of blood? One and answer. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm getting it perfect. Kryptonite killer. Baba, make it easier for Ritu Ma'am to say the name at least. Okay. Yes, but you're right. Absolutely. One. Okay, okay, okay. Hold it. Second, write two. And. Okay. Write two. What is the origin of medulla oblongata? Medulla oblongata. Two now. Two. One is everybody is my smart kid. Saravana, no bache, two. Again, kryptonite killer. Very good, bache. I know. Okay. Yes, beautiful. Okay, okay, hold on. Okay, one more. Writing now, three. Two time over. Two's time is over. Two is ectoderm, bache. Okay. Yes, I will do the doubt solving. Don't worry, bache. The telegram. Gradually, everything is happening. You see? Okay. Now, of course, medulla or cerebellum or cerebrum or spinal cord or cranial nerves. Everything comes here now, bache. Neural system. So just remembering this four. Just one table like this will give you a lot of clarity. Okay. Next. A tricky one. Okay. Next, what is the number you're going to be writing? 4. Okay. Okay, 4. Very difficult question for you. Nothing should be difficult for us. Okay. Write 4. Okay. Write 4 and my skin. And I'm not telling skin is which tissue. My skin. Yes. 4 and my skin. Yes, but some of you are saying light. I will just make sure that next time I'm bright and glowing. Okay. Now let's see. 4 with the yellow hearts. Naveen with the yellow hearts. Okay. Alright. So, yes, that was little tricky because skin has got epidermis and dermis. Okay. So, epidermis is ectodermal and dermis becomes mesodermal. Okay, so that was this, but okay, moving ahead. Lovely responses. It's almost as if I'm talking to you all. Okay, now next. Epithelial tissue. Let's start with the first. Today we will be able to do first tissue quite a lot. Okay, everybody, even though if you have done it in already 11th standard and you are in 12th standard, you will get to know a lot of new things. I can promise you that. So let's start with the epithelial tissue. Look at the beauty of this tissue. Look at this. This is epithelial tissue. The one which is right, this is epithelial tissue. Okay, it is on the surfaces. Okay, this is epithelial tissue, alveoli. Alveoli, bache, exchange of gases happening there. The wall of alveoli is epithelial tissue. Okay, so let's move ahead. It grows over this, and look at this is the real histological side. First of all, tell me, what does the word tissue mean? What does the word tissue, basic, everybody has done tissue so many times. What does the word tissue mean? Tissue means woven together. It's like woven together. It's like this, stitched together or woven together. That's what tissue means. Okay, what is the study of tissue called? Study of tissue, if you are studying tissue, if you are studying the tissue of heart or kidney, what are you doing? Yes, I see those answers, some of them right. Histology. Histology is the study of tissue. Okay, now let's see, bache, here. This is the real histological slide, bache, of skin. This is the skin. Okay, now tissue has a free surface. You can see this is the free surface. Okay, this is the free surface. Okay, which faces either a body fluid or outside environment. Here in this case, it is facing the outside environment. Okay, this is outside the environment. But I'll give you another example. Tummy, stomach on the left side, take it out. Hypothetically, take out the stomach. Okay, in my hand now, it's in my hand. I'm touching the surface of the stomach. Which tissue am I touching? Epithelial tissue. Right? Stomach is hollow. Okay, not to talk about all that food you have dumped inside it. Okay, now, if I'm also touching the inner lining of the stomach, even that is epithelial tissue. So now you understand. Tummy, stomach, outside touching, epithelial tissue. Inside the cavity lining, I'm touching epithelial tissue. Now listen to this. Okay, see, tissue has a free surface which faces either a body fluid inside the stomach, okay, or outside environment, outside this skin. Did we get it right? Okay, epithelium means, epi means what? Over. Thelium means it's growing. It's growing over the organs, over other tissues. Okay, next, it provides a covering or a lining for some parts of the body. Covering, lining. Cells are, this is so important, because next session I'll be doing connective tissue with you. So you need to remember this. Are you all with me? I forgot to give you that first sentence of mine in Ritu Ma'am's lecture. Only you and me and nobody exists, and I'm your best friend, and you have no A, B, C, D choice. It's A, Ritu Ma'am, B, Ritu Ma'am, C, Ritu Ma'am, and D, all of the above. Okay, so listen. Epithelial tissue, just below the epithelial tissue, which tissue is there? Connective tissue. Just below the connective tissue, which tissue is there? Muscular tissue. And nerves are penetrating everywhere. Nerves are there. So see, the sequence I made you learn is actually the sequence in your body. Okay, so epithelial tissue, under the epithelial tissue there is connective tissue. Okay, now epithelial tissue, cells are compactly packed. Look at these cells. Look at these cells. Absolutely packed together. That means in between the cells there is hardly any space. There would be little space somewhere. There would be very less space, or there will be no space happening there. Okay, now when I'm teaching you connective tissue, there would be massive spaces there and cells would be less. Epithelial tissue, cells a lot, and the spaces either just not there or very little. And if space is not there or very little space is there, that means there is no matrix there. What do you call that space? You can call that as intercellular space. You can call that as ground substance, okay, or matrix, anything. The same thing, those spaces in between the cells. Okay, so cells are compactly packed with little or no intercellular matrix. After connective, we are going to do the differences, right? Okay, so this is, sorry, okay, next, very important. Look at the cells, bache. Look at the cells. Okay, do you see now? The cells are so close together. Very important characters of epithelial tissue. This tissue is the tissue which evolved first in us. First formed tissue is epithelial tissue. Okay, then this is first formed in embryo. Okay, next, origin from all the germlines. All the students will know that origin can be from ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. You remember at least one example of each. That makes you better than rest of the world. Let's do it. Okay, ectodermal origin. Epidermis of the skin, that's ectodermal in origin. Okay, mesodermal, very important. Coelom, the body cavity, coelom. Okay, coelom is mesodermal, coelomic epithelium. In fact, we will be doing it when we are doing animal kingdom, kingdom animalia also, there also. You will be doing animals with me, which have got true coelom, false coelom, no coelom. So then also I will ask you, what is the origin of coelom? Immediately you will be telling me mesodermal. Okay, endoderm. Gut lining, your alimentary canal. Alimentary canal's internal lining is endodermal in origin. Got that right, bache? So, origin, you will remember any of the germlet, but bache, with the germlet, please remember one example each. Okay, next. Usually, rest on the double layered non-cellular basement membrane. This is the basement membrane. Important. This is a typical feature of epithelial tissue. It's there only in epithelial tissue. Is it there in all the epithelial tissue? Almost all. There is some exception. Okay. Are you telling me what is the exception? Or should I tell you? What? But right now, let's see what is basement membrane first. Look at the keywords, bache. Okay. The keywords are double layered. It is got 2 layers. We'll just see. Okay. It's got no cells. In fact, bache, there was once this question in one competitive exam just few years back where they had written which of the following components written below are acellular without any cells, and one of the option was basement membrane, and that was the answer. Basement membrane doesn't have cells. So what does it have? Mostly fibers. It's got fibers. Got the keywords? That's the basement membrane, bache. This is the basement membrane present below the epithelial tissue. Tell me, if this is present below the epithelial tissue, what is present here? What is present below the basement membrane? It's connective tissue. So, are you getting it? I told you, epithelial tissue, below that connective tissue. What is there in between epithelial tissue and connective tissue? Basement membrane. And how important is basement membrane? I'll just talk about it. Next, blood vessels are usually absent. Today, what I'm seeing is a lot of exposure of my skin happening. You are studying so many things with my skin. Let's see. I'm scratching my skin. Do I do it? You scratch your skin? Scratch. Do I start bleeding? Am I bleeding? No. I'm not bleeding. That means what? Blood vessels are absent. Usually absent I have written because there is one exception. But for you, you can just go with that blood vessels are absent. Scratchy, no bleeding. Okay, unless until you're really angry with you and scratching with all that force. Okay, see, no bleeding, no blood. That means no blood vessels. Second, when you're scratching, are you scratching? Do you know you're scratching yourself? You know you're scratching yourself. So that means there is nerve supply. There are nerves. That's how I'm coming to know that I can feel it, but there's no bleeding, so no blood supply, but you can feel it, so nerve endings are there. Next, it can regenerate. What does it mean? When you scratched, lot of skin cell fell off. Lot of skin cell. In fact, bache, every day in your house, when some helper comes and cleans the house, okay, there is so much of the dust and all. You feel that how does so much of dust come in the house every day? Most of the time, that all that dusty thing which is collected is a lot of skin cells of the people who are there in the house. We are all the time shedding skin cells, but we shed skin cells. Don't we get the skin cells back? Of course we do. Of course we are supposed to be doing that. Otherwise there will be a lot more exposure than that. Okay. So all of this, did we get it right? 3 points you can remember just by this scratching example. No blood supply. Nerve supply, yes. Falling off will regenerate back. So these are the important points. One more thing, bache, this is the basement membrane. Okay, this is the basement membrane. Very quickly, because there's not too much of detailing is there, bache. Okay, I had asked you one question which I should not forget before leaving you all. There was some exception I was asking you. Yes, basement membrane. Almost all the epithelial tissue has got basement membrane, but there is one epithelium which doesn't have basement membrane because that epithelium needs to stretch. That epithelial cells need to change their shape. Those epithelial cells need to transform their cell shape. If the basement membrane was there, how will they change their shapes and become different? Okay, that epithelium, just remember the name, transitional epithelium. I'm going to be talking about it, but be smart, children, and just remember the name. What is the name I said? Write it down, yes. Transitional epithelium. That doesn't have basement membrane. So when somebody tells you, all the epithelial tissue have got basement membrane, smartly show off your knowledge. No. Transitional epithelium doesn't have. But what is transitional epithelium? We'll do it. Okay. Now, none of you is reminding me, Ritu Ma'am, you are talking so much since last 25 minutes. Water. This is a cue to you all. Have water, everybody. Have all of you water. There's no water. There's no symbol of water in the animation. All right. Good children. But absolute brats, I know you all. Okay, now look at that, bache. Basement membrane. Okay, now basement membrane is giving the structure. What does basement membrane is under the epithelial tissue? So what will it do? It will give structural support. Okay, then it will be connection. It's a connection with the underlying tissue. I told you what was the tissue under it. Connective tissue. So it's connecting epithelial tissue to connective tissue. It's a filter. I told you no bleeding. If epithelial tissue is not getting blood, how will epithelial tissue get oxygen? How will epithelial tissue get glucose? It's hungry. It wants oxygen. It wants glucose. How will that happen? Okay, because all of those things are there through the basement membrane. All of these things, oxygen and nutrition, it filters and is provided to the epithelial tissue. So basement membrane is actually working like a filter, and all that matrix, in that matrix, all these things, they filter through the basement membrane and supplied to epithelial tissue. Next, it prevents epithelial tissue. This is so interesting. Listen to this. There is epithelial tissue, there is basement membrane, and then there is connective tissue. Suppose, unfortunately, very unfortunately, a person develops tumor in the epithelial tissue. Okay, a person develops tumor in the epithelial tissue. Do you think this tumor should invaginate down in the connective tissue also? No. So see, basement membrane as a barrier, it prevents the tumor as much as possible to invade through and get into the connective tissue. Isn't that a fantastic function of basement membrane? Cancerous tumors, retaining them in the epithelial tissue, not letting them penetrate in the connective tissue, that is there. So how can we ignore basement membrane? Okay, and now you already know, okay, that all the epithelial tissue has got basement membrane, but which one? Transitional epithelium. Now let's see, epithelial tissue, which if there is just one single layer of cells, if only one single layer of cells, it's called a simple epithelium. More than one means two, or more than two, it's called as compound epithelium. Okay, now next. Okay, here is that category, bache. Okay, in the, just a second. Okay, simple epithelium on the basis of the shape of the cells. Okay, on the basis of the shape of the cells, it can be squamous. There are only three categories. Only three categories. Simple means single line. Okay, single like this. Okay, and what is there present at the bottom? Basement membrane. Okay, there was one thing I wanted to remind you, bache. Just a second. Okay, I need to go back to slide 18. Okay, look at this. Okay, just a second, bache. Okay. Look at this. Simple and compound, many of them. One difference I told you. Only one layer of cells. Many layer of cells. Can you give me another difference? What is another difference? Look at this, bache. In simple epithelium, each and every cell is resting on the basement membrane. Okay, every cell is present on the basement membrane. Look at compound epithelium. This cell is on the basement membrane, this cell is on the basement membrane, this cell is, but is this cell on the basement membrane? No. Is this cell on the basement membrane? No. Is this cell on the basement membrane? Yes. So another difference. Simple epithelium, every cell is resting on the basement membrane, whereas in compound epithelium, not all the cells will be resting on the basement membrane. Okay, moving ahead, there are these three types. Simple epithelium has got flat, absolutely flat cells. Squamous epithelium, then cuboidal cube, columnar columns. We are going to do that. Okay, this was what I was talking about. Compound, we will be doing two categories: stratified, layering. The picture you saw, layering. Transitional is the one which stretches. It stretches. It's there in your urinary system. It's there in your ureters and urinary bladder. That's why it's also called as urothelium. Will you remember this name? Transitional epithelium, it stretches. Why? All of you right now sitting in front of me, I can imagine all of you sitting in front of me, all of your bladders there, urinary bladders there in you. Do you think all of your bladders are equally full? All of your bladders, some of you must be having little more pressure than others. Okay, 100 ml, 50 ml, 300 ml, 350 ml, 500 ml. My God, Ritu Ma'am, end the class soon. I need to rush to the washroom. Okay, bladder size different. It stretches. So there should be that epithelium which should stretch. Which is that epithelium? Urothelium or transitional epithelium. So let's do these three first, bache. Okay, simple epithelium composed. Okay, here there is the cuboidal layer. Just a second, bache. Where is the squamous epithelium? Okay, now this is cuboidal epithelium. Let's first talk about cuboidal and then we will get back to the squamous. Okay, the slide is like that. Cuboidal, what is the shape? The length and the breadth is the same. That's cube. Okay, composed of single layer of cells, functions as the lining for the body cavities, ducts and tubes. We will just see that. Okay, now yes, here we are going squamous. Ideally we are going to be starting this, which is squamous. See the shape cuboidal, see this shape columnar. Okay, then let's see. This is the squamous, absolutely flattened. It's also called as pavement epithelium. Look at the cells, bache. Look at the cells. All of them are absolutely flattened. That's why it's also called as pavement epithelium. Okay, made of single thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. Look at these, all of these. Okay, that is flattened cells, bache. Okay, then look at the image. How beautiful is that? What is that? Blood vessel. Look at that. Look at the internal lining. Okay, why should the blood vessels internal lining be absolutely flat like this? Absolutely flat. Pavement epithelium. Why? Shouldn't blood be flowing flawless? Or should it have those speed breakers kind? It should be smooth flow of the blood. Okay, so that's why, see how beautiful, you can see this pavement epithelium. Okay, and this is this inner lining. You can see this lining. Okay, inner lining of the blood vessels, be it artery, be it vein, be it capillaries. It's called as Endothelium. Endo inside, thelium is the layer. Okay, then it forms the diffusion boundary. What is diffusion boundary? Things can transport from that. So diffusion boundary, because it's so thin. That's why. Let's see the next example. So don't forget, squamous epithelium. Beautiful example. The lining of the blood vessel. We are talking about simple squamous epithelium. Only one layer of cells. I am not talking about compound. That is different thing altogether. This is only single layer of cells. Next, let's see how beautiful these can be. Okay. Look at that. Okay. What are these? What are these? Okay. Grape-like structure, small little balloons. Okay, what are these, bache? These are, all right. Okay, now these are alveoli. Okay, and the exchange of gases happen through this. Okay, so wall of the alveoli has to be thin, has to be so thin. Otherwise, how will oxygen and carbon dioxide transport? Okay, so this is another example. In all these tissues, bache, the examples are most important. The most important are examples. Okay, next, cuboidal. We saw this image. Cube-like cell. But identify what is this. This is a nephron. This is a nephron. Okay, now look at this, bache. This is, I think you know this term. I'm saying that, okay, there. You know these terms, bache. NEET 450 plus, you can get 550 plus. Why you talk about? This is nephron, nephron. Okay. Quiz zarur karenge bache. Okay, because I know my children will only and only study if I am asking you questions. Will definitely, I will do quiz very often. Don't worry. Okay. Yes, of course, this is beautiful. This is not just nephron. It's a beautiful nephron. Okay. Now, this is, bache, this structure is called as proximal convoluted tubule. Okay. This is lined by the cuboidal epithelium, which has got brush border. Cuboidal epithelium with microvilli. Will you remember it? In PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, you will be doing details, bache, in the excretion chapter. Right now, just remember this word. Proximal convoluted tubule. And what is the tissue there? You will remember this tissue as simple cuboidal. Simple means what? Only one layer. Cuboidal shape, cuboidal, and it's got microvilli. Have you heard of microvilli in some other place also? Intestine? Yes, there is brush border of microvilli. We have done villi. We have done the digestion bit. Microvilli was there also. But big difference. What is the difference? Here in PCT, it's cuboidal with microvilli. In intestine, it's going to be columnar with microvilli. Will you remember that? Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, main function of this is, bache, secretion and absorption. The epithelium of PCT of nephron in the kidney has got microvilli. So, we have talked about this. Columnar epithelium. Okay, now talking about columnar epithelium composed of single layer of, look at the columnar cells. They are tall cells. The length is much more than the width. This is columnar epithelium. Nuclei are at the bottom, very important. Even if you are making a columnar cell, please place the nucleus at the base. At the base. Apical modifications may be there. What is apical, bache? Okay, what? You have heard so many things, so many places. Apical. What is apex? What is apex and what is base? Okay, now we say, see, your heart is right in the center of the thoracic cavity, but Yes, that's the position of the heart. Your heart is right in the middle of the thoracic cavity, but its apex is slightly tilted towards the left side. Apex is the bottom. What is apex? Apex is normally, bache, the top part or the pointed part. You know, heart up is the base, below is the apex. Okay, here, this is the apex. Okay, this is the apex, this is the base, the upper part. It's either the upper part or apex normally means bache, the pointed end. That's apex. Okay. What is the modification? Tell me, what modification can you see in the columnar epithelium? I'm just drawing it and you are telling me. Let's see this. Okay. What is this modification? What is this modification? This is modification A, I have drawn here, and this is modification B, I have drawn here. What is A and what is B? Quickly. Time flies with you. You have to write which is which one. Which is A? Perfect. Ramesh, perfect bache. A. Ritik, Kartika, Rutuja, Saravanan. Wow, I'm not getting time to talk to all of you today because of the little delay happening. Keshavan, you missed the class. That doesn't make Ritu Ma'am happy. Smart aspirant. Simran, right answer. And a lovely name you have. Ranjan. Okay, ho gaya. Everybody knows it. Now you are all showing off your knowledge. Okay. Keshwan, thank you, bache. You're watching the replay. I'm glad. Okay, now, while I'm on it, have you liked it? Have you all liked it? And where are my hearts? Where are my hearts? I was so busy teaching you, I missed out on all the hearts. Avinash, absolutely right answer. Dinesh, why aren't you answering me today? Yes, Amy, thank you. C. Saravanan. Very good. Thank you, bache. Thank you so much. Dolly, thanks for the purple hearts. Okay. All right. Yes, bache. Give me some time, bache. I will do the quiz also. Okay. So, columnar epithelium and your physics. Now, look at this. How beautiful. Thanks there. I can see the hearts. Very distracting, but don't be like that distraction. Okay. Now, let's see. Free surface. This is microvilli. Bache, remember. PCT. Cuboidal epithelium with microvilli. Small intestine. Columnar epithelium with microvilli. That's a smart thing to look at that. They are found in the lining of the columnar epithelium, your stomach and your small intestine. Bache, we have done digestive system. Do you remember the digestive glands? The digestive, which had neck, base, body and base, and parietal cells, oxyntic cells, all those cells. That's columnar epithelium. Okay, and of course, you can see this villus. Okay. Is your inside so beautiful? Look at that. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is the lining. Okay. This is the lining, bache. Okay, and this lining has got columnar cells. And I'm making, look at this, I'm making the nucleus at the bottom. Okay, and if I take this, can I call it, if you allow me, can I call it enterocyte, the cell of the small intestine, enterocyte. Okay, I'll take it out and I'm going to be making it like this. Columnar cell with the microvilli, enterocytes. Okay, let's move ahead, bache. And of course, what are they helping in? Secretion and absorption. Okay, moving ahead, bache. Time is almost over. We are just going to be finishing this, bache. Ciliated. First of all, do you really know columnar and cuboidal can have those hair-like projections called cilia? Their function is to move the particles and the secretions. Cilia moving, okay, moving the particles. You know what does the word cilia mean? Girls, listen to this. What is cilium? Cilia is plural, cilium is singular. And you know what does cilia mean? Cilia means eyelash. Did you know that? Tell me, did you know that? Cilia word we have known for so long. But did you know what does cilia mean? Cilia means eyelashes. Eyelash. It's derived from the word eyelashes. Okay. They are mainly present in the inner surface of the hollow organs. Like examples, very, very important. Those examples are bronchioles. Why? Why should your respiratory tract have cilia in it? Because if there are microbes or anything foreign, it has to be thrown out. It has to be thrown out. Second, they are also present in the fallopian tube. Fallopian tube has got jungle of cilia. Why? You know it. Egg cannot move on its own. So egg has to be pushed towards the uterus. Okay, next, let's see. We are going to do glandular epithelium in the next session. This was enough for you for today. I don't want you to be missing out on the glandular epithelium. I'm going to be taking up next time. And I've talked about pro subscription. Please use the code RGPRO and join in the Vedantu family Telegram. And yes, as I promised you, we are ready to connect with you and answer each and every query of you there. This is the link. Okay. And yes, finally, do I get my yellow hearts and my Kishore? Yes, moving the egg. Sperms move, but egg? No, 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 no. We are lazy. Okay. Thank you, bache. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will be on time tomorrow. I promise that. So enjoy your evening and remember, Diwali is close. So we are all happy, glowing and smiling always, aren't we? But no noisy crackers. No noisy crackers. I'm going to be talking about it. Thank you, bache. Have a fantastic week ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you.